What we have here is a car that is underwhelming. Decently quick, certainly quicker than a Duke's, on par with the Ruiner, I would say. Brakes that are questionable, and downforce that is questionable. It's got ground clearance, but I was having issues getting this thing to just drive properly on dry tarmac. So I figured I'd drive on the wet to see if anything would get exaggerated here. I imagine the stopping distances are going to get even longer. For some reason these brakes have a rear bias. I don't know why. So it's not a car that needs really any help oversteering. I mean, not that the car's skittish, but it's just... I can't tell if that was understeer or oversteer. Might have just stopped the skid a little late. Yeah, there we go. More understeer than I would have expected. Now, the thing with this car, you notice how the rear wheels, they're already kind of tucked in a lot. They're kind of more or less negative cambered already. This thing's wheels are not as sturdy as you think they are. In fact, this car as a whole, it resists gunfire decently well. I mean, obviously, this thing isn't up-armored at all. I don't even have bulletproof tires. Not that you really need them if you're a good driver, for the most part. Ow. This car is... no, we'll see. Now, you'd think in the rain I'd have an easier time getting some oversteer. And that's kind of true. But then there's... maybe this was the problem with this car, the fact that there's a little more understeer in the chassis than anyone's willing to admit. That would explain why I can never really get the car to handle perfectly, or I just never felt like I was locked into the car. These brakes are fucking atrocious, by the way. You want to see a car with bad brakes? This is it. They are simultaneously, the travel of the pedal is too long, and the bias is too far to the rear. So when you need the thing to stop, it's not really going to do very much. I'll show you. Now, you want to find a car that's got good brakes, but it's still in the muscle class? You get yourself a Vigoro, a Dukes, or a Sabre GT. I don't care what the GTA Wiki says. They suck this thing's knob off. I mean, the fact that this will still lose to a Faction or a Vigoro, two rival cars in the muscle class, on most tracks. Yes, okay, on tracks where there aren't as many bumps and not as much heavy braking, yeah, this thing's going to be better than them. It's got better acceleration. Fine. But on tighter turns that require heavy braking, and anything really that just has you going... I mean, it's weird having a car that handles bumps really well, because as you can see, it's got decent ground clearance. I mean, definitely good ground clearance, actually, and decent suspension travel. But then simultaneously, not having enough downforce to stick to the road when you need it to, as opposed to handling jumps when you want it to. It's just, it's just really... It's just janky, and I don't like it. I don't hate it, but this is just an underwhelming car. It doesn't succeed in the ways that you need it to. See how it caught a little bit of air there? Or see how it lifted the tires? That's what I mean. When a car does that, that's a sign of lacking downforce. Now, it's like I said, it's not to the same degree of the Spinny Bar Crown Vic or the Police Stinger, but it's there. That, plus the fucking understeer that we saw earlier when driving in the rain. That, plus the weak brake pedal. Plus the rear bias, so the thing doesn't really tuck the nose in like you need it to in tight turns. Now, yeah, you can sort of drift easily. Uh-oh. Oh, I got lucky there. I really thought I was going to get dead stopped by that fucking light post there. I mean, I'm driving decently well, or I'm doing okay in this getaway in spite of it, but probably decent in the drive. This is one of the cars that I just don't like driving around in that much. It's just not that good. Now, okay, fine, you can say, oh, yes, but horsecock, just go to broker, the best borough for getaways. Okay, fine, even if I did that, I mean, you think it would make that much of a difference? This car is just not, it's not a complete package. It's more of a point-and-shoot car, but without the brakes that you really need. Like the Comet. Yeah, that car's handling can be downright janky at times, and it's kind of silly. But it's quick as shit in a straight line, and its brakes are from the gods. This car... The brakes are not from the gods. And acceleration, while good, is not godlike. So I can't just make an excuse for this car.